Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is a presentation on a paper entitled Statistical and Spatial Analysis of the Kelantan Big Yellow Flood 2014. As we know, flood is a common occurrence in Malaysia and it happens every year in Kelantan. And indeed, every year flood in Kelantan causes significant damage. Kelantan Big Yellow Flood, December 2014 until January 2015, is one of the most devastating floods to hit Malaysia in recent decades. In this flood event, more than 100,000 flood victims evacuated from their homes. This flood event is believed due to the continuous heavy rainfall from 21st until 23rd December 2014. And actually, the rainfall is continuous, happen more than 60 days, and it makes water level in the river exceed those of the recorded flood of 1967 and 2004. Flood mitigation, especially in large floods, should mitigate the risk of a severe flooding in one area. So flood extent and its vulnerability is a basic information that needs to be known as an effort to take a priority action on flood issue. So this study attempts to respond to this issue by determining the flood vulnerability and extent in 4 selected flood-prone areas around Kelantan. Actually, the government and NGO already made maps and information related with the December 2014 flood, but some of them did not integrate with the information gathered from the local people who really stay and experience this big yellow flood 2014. So this led us to configure the flood occurrence in the selected study area using the data collected from the field survey and household interview and not related just from the secondary data. Alright, this study also have to answer to make sure that achieve the objective that we develop, which is first is to determine flood vulnerability in the 4 selected research areas using frequency analysis and chi-square test. And second one is to delineate the flood event map directly from the flood-prone area through site visit observation and also interviews. Alright, the study area is involved 2 districts, which is District Kuala Korai and also District Gomusa. And it's divided into 4 study areas, which is we call Kuala Korai, that cover Bandar Kuala Korai, Mengkebang, Kenol, and also Manipurai. And we have also, Mengkebang, Kenol, and Bandar Kuala Korai, Mengkebang, and also Kenol. And then for the study area of Manipurai, it's covered 283.7 km square. And for Kuala Pergau, it's covered 63.2 km square. And for the district Gomusang, we have covered the district of Bandar Gomusang, Balikpapan, Kerteh, Pulai, and also Pulai. So actually, these 4 study areas is represented of 2 types of flood-prone area, which is urban, that represented by study area of Kuala Korai and also Gomusang, and also rural prone area, rural flood-prone area, which is covered by Kuala Pergau and also Manipurai study area. Alright, this study involves 2 types of data, which is primary and also secondary data. So for primary data, it's gathered through observation, photography, and also face-to-face interview. And it involves variables such as position and elevation, which is we collect from a coming handheld GPS. And then it have also the variable flood depth, which is mapped directly to the indication of flood mark in the building. And we also have flood duration and other related variables that we collected from questionnaire instrument. For the secondary data, we got from formal interview with the authorities and related agencies, and also collected from the open source website, which is the data that we have gathered is actually on existing spatial data set and also the statistical data set, which is the existing spatial data set is involve boundaries, roads, network, contour line, and also drainage that consists of a quick-bird multispectral satellite image of a research area with a resolution of 0.60 centimeter, and while the statistical database is on the recent versions of population, social, economics, and of the research area. Alright. This study involves two methods, which is statistical analysis and also spatial analysis. For the statistical analysis, we use to determine the flood vulnerability. So, statistical analysis is to analyze primary data from the questionnaire survey distributed to the flood victims, and also secondary data from the website and formal interview with the related agencies. We use two types of statistics, which is descriptive and also inferential. In the descriptive statistic, frequency analysis with graph and table used to descriptively interpret the data, while for the inferential statistics, we use chi-square test of independence to determine if there is any significant relationship between two categorical variables involved. For spatial analysis, we use to determine the flood depth and extent map, which is we start with a quick-bird image, and then the delineations of the flood extent have been made, and the flood extent is delineated and overlaid with all the secondary data that we collected, and then after that we got the flood depth and extent map. To identify the flood extent, the floodplain is delineated by a local expert and digitized from the high-resolution satellite images. Alright, because of this study involved two types of the method, so the result and discussion also divided into two sections, which is flood vulnerability and also flood extent map. So, two types of vulnerability due to the flood event is on economic and social, which is economic is to be analyzed through the data from the total loss, type of damage, and also percentage of damage. While for social vulnerability, we look at the age, occupation, and also gender. For the economics, we can see the figure 1 here is a distribution of total loss, which is blue color. This is by area, which is blue color is for Gomutang, orange for Kolakarai, gray for Dabong, and also yellow for Pantura. And when we do the analysis of flood vulnerability index, we can say that Gua, Musang, and Dabong has a medium vulnerability index level, while Kolakarai and Manipura have a high vulnerability index level. Alright, for the social, we can see that age and occupation give a significant result for in this flood event, but not in gender. Right? This is a similar result for gender. But from this figure, we can say that the young people is more vulnerable on flooding rather than the older people, because it gives this high percentage here. And it also affects the business activity in those areas, because almost of the respondents make a business actually rather than other occupation. So we use chi-square to make to extend the analysis, because we can say that flood depth is one of the key factors for the vulnerability. So this chi-square wants to show that flood depth has an association with the variable of type of damage and total rainfall, but not with the distance from the river. Through the chi-square test, This is the finding that we made. Therefore, can significantly say that the Kelantan Big Yellow flood 2014 is totally influenced by heavy rainfall, where the degree of damage caused by the flood is influenced by the depth of the flood. So, for the flood extent map, it's shown in this 4 figure, which is this is represented for Goa Musang study area. This is Mani Ural, and this is Kolapurkau, and this is Kolapurkau study area. So for the urban flood prone area, we can see here from Goa Musang and also Kolapurkau. In the area of Goa Musang, we can see that Bandar Goa Musang is actually have a huge flood percentage here, which is cover 18.8% out of the total area. And then in Goa Musang, the flooding can involved in 4 substrates, which is Bandar Goa Musang, the worst one, and then it go to the sub-discrete Batu Papan, Ketil, and also Kulai. But for the Kolapurkau, Bandar Kolapurkau itself got a huge flood area that cover 99.76% out of the total area. And then for Mani Ural, this is the map for Mani Ural. It gives 10.4% out of the total area, while the Kolapurkau is actually 7.86% of the total area. And it visualized in these 4 flood extent map. And you can see that the blue one is actually the flood exposure, or the flood extent from this flood event. So the conclusion, we can say that this study can construct the reliable flood extent map by directly delineating from the flood-prone area through site visit and primary data gathered from face-to-face interview with the local people with other flood victims. Alright, this valuable primary data is also crucial in determining flood vulnerability in aspect of economic and social. And then this study also led by those primary data and integration with the secondary data from several related agencies. This study has successfully constructed a reliable flood extent map, which is slightly different with other developed flood maps by government, NGO, and active researchers in this field. And then this study gives this primary finding lead us for further study on the flood hazard and also exposure, which are crucial to mitigate the risk of severe flooding in Kelantan. So that is all for this presentation, and I list here all the references that I used for this time. Thank you so much.